Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Let's talk about silver price manipulation. Is silver in a bubble, and what factors are driving its price to be influenced from outside factors, and why is this happening? Let's go into this because this is a very deep question with a very intricate answer. So, silver, apart from other investments, has a more intrinsic value. It's used a lot in the industrial, technological world, and its prices come from various things, whether it's miners' motivation to dig it out the ground, if they can dig it out the ground, whether it's the supply versus demand, whether it's, economic scare, the spot price, whether it's a bear or a bullish market. So there's many different factors, and that was just to name a few, by the way. So there's many different factors in silver's price, especially when we're talking about the physical bullion. 99% of people that invest into silver invest into the paper side of it, ETFs, exchange traded funds. So that's a lot more speculative. That's all from numbers. It's the same thing as stocks, essentially. So when we're talking about this, I want to talk about it more from a physical bullion standpoint. This is, we saw a glimpse into the world of how it can be manipulated from Merrill Lynch manipulating trillions of dollars on these ETFs, placing false buy orders, convincing other buyers or potential buyers that everyone's buying up all this silver, so then they invest as well, hopefully to shoot the price up so they can sell. Now, we also saw this similar situation with JP Morgan, you know, doing almost the opposite though, calling Bitcoin a scam. And then it shot the price down because everyone started selling, panic selling. And then once the price lowered, they went and basically, bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin, millions of dollars in Bitcoin for cheap. So there's definitely manipulation going on in the investing world, but to what extent is it actually, what extent is it actually influencing the prices? When it comes to silver and gold, I would think it has more, umph in the system or in the economy because there's so many more uses for it. So it's not as speculative. It has a harder barrier compared to something like Bitcoin or even stock market volatility. So when I think of precious metals, I'm thinking of all the different factors that have to come into play for its price to be influenced and how much of that can be influenced. When we're looking at the ratios, even gold comparing it to silver, silver is still the underdog and it's extremely undervalued and its potential is there. And I think partly silver's potential is because it has so much beneficial, opportunity in the world to where even if Merrill Lynch is gonna, manipulate silver markets, it's only gonna push or nudge the prices a couple pennies, a couple dollars at most, and that's gonna correct very quickly. So comparing precious metals to, let's say, Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is a much different ball game. Bitcoin is almost completely off of speculation, and that's also how I made so much money off of it, was because it was its focal point was speculative, speculative influences. Are the markets high right now? Did an exchange just get scammed? And if that exchange got scammed, people just lost millions, if not billions of dollars, then this is going to be bad news for the crypto world. So I know crypto is going to be down today. Or someone else called Bitcoin a scam, or another wallet got hacked. I know Bitcoin's going to be down today because that's bad light for the crypto world. And it's solely off of just how much money's going in and how much money's going out. But the thing with precious metals is, since it does have actual value, it's very limited, or it's very quick when these instances blow over, which is very good for precious metals, and that's also why it's much safer than other investments. When when you're in an investment, even like stock markets, with all the volatility, everything that happens so quick, it's all about numbers. You have to be checking the prices daily, secondly, hourly, it's a constant watch, because at the snap of a finger, you know, things could literally just bottom out and not to be recovered at some instances, actually a lot of instances. So I'm trying to make a point in this video that precious metals, even if they can be influenced, or even if people say they are in a bubble to some extent, they still are a lot safer than other investments. Now let's talk about the bubble, because a lot of people are, I've made videos about this before, gold and silver in a bubble. I read some articles, and if silver is an interesting thing, because when we're looking at gold or silver in a bubble from a fiat standpoint, it's already irrelevant. That statement's already irrelevant, because the whole point of investing in precious metals is to detach the monetary fiat value from the metal content. Silver's price isn't based off of spot price being $17. Silver's value, its true value, is the silver inside of it. So for gold and silver to be in a bubble, it would only be looking at it from a fiat based, almost like an ETF standpoint, or someone who's looking at it just for the numbers. We're not looking at gold and silver for the numbers. We don't care about spot price today, because we're investing into the metal content for the futuristic goals it has, the futuristic opportunity, the futuristic potential it has, as we preserve our wealth against inflation, or rather hyperinflation. So even if it is somewhat in a bubble, it's not anything, especially like silver or gold, is going to have corrections. There's going to be dips, there's going to be buy offs, there's going to be sell offs, there's going to be, more bullish times. But right now, it almost seems like the perfect storm is brewing up for silver and gold, whether it is stock market volatility, whether it is, all everything in the economy, whether it's the 2020 presidential election, whether it's, gold breaking past $1,500 and the media finally covering it, whether it's silver breaking past $17, driving new investors into the precious metals world, finally seeing that it can be profitable to some extent. Whatever the factors are, environmentally, politically, financially, economically, whatever it is, it still has a foundation. And that's what's so precious about precious metals, is because there's a foundation built that whatever comes at it, it can still hold its weight, no pun intended. Whereas other investments, stock markets, even, options markets, futures contracts, when a storm brews or something's thrown at it, it doesn't have the legs, it doesn't have the foundation to outstand that. And that's why a lot of times it crumbles. That's why Bitcoin dropped, five, six, $7,000 when JP Morgan called it a scam. But that's why silver only dropped maybe a couple pennies when Merrill Lynch was manipulating these markets with trillions of dollars. So, hopefully I was able to bring the point across to you guys to show that, precious metals do have some legs with it, and there's a lot of it's not as vulnerable as other, assets or investments. Now, I wouldn't compare it to gold as much, because I feel like for the sake of this video, it's basically the same asset. Gold prices could be in a little different of a category, because some of a lot, well, I guess a lot more gold is scrapped or remelted. So the rate that is lost is much lower than silver, which isn't always recovered out of technology. A lot of gold is remelted. So, and a lot of gold is used for jewelry and, necklaces, stuff like that. So it's almost more of a commodity, as silver is more of an asset for the everyday world that we actually need in this technology, especially the way we're advancing. And so it is a little different of a category. But for the sake of this video, we're keeping those together. But I'm curious what you guys think about this. Do you think gold and silver is in a bubble? And if you do, what do you think is going to make that bubble pop? And if it pops, what do you think is going to happen? Could it be negatively or positively affected? And, do you think that silver and gold do have stronger legs than these other investments, than these other assets? I definitely do myself. But anyways, I'm curious what you guys thought about this. If you do want to look back too, I challenge you guys, go back to 2011 when silver was $50, and see what was going on in the economy, politically, economically, industrially, everything in that ballpark, in that time frame, to see what could have also been influencing silver's price. Because I did make a video on that and I covered some things, but if you do, I challenge you guys to do some research on your own. I don't want to do all the work for you guys all the time. Go back to 2011, read some articles about silver's price in 2011, what people were thinking about it. It's actually pretty interesting. I'll throw a little hint in there. They actually thought silver was going to be going higher than $50, a lot higher. So that's a little interesting thing that I found. If you could also just watch the video I made, but I challenge you guys to educate yourselves. I don't want to always be educating you. I want you guys to also be doing a little bit of research, grasp some knowledge on your own. It's very important for your own sake. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I post daily videos. I'm gonna post probably one or two other videos today, probably two. So stay tuned for that as well. Got some really cool content that I know you guys are going to enjoy. So anyways, this was Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys soon. Peace.